Today, I'm delighted to welcome Madam Vijaya Saraswati. Madam is a Dr. R. Vijaya Saraswati. She's a serial author. She is working on her 10th book, and she's an inspirational coach and founder and director of Godwin Academy and Hopewell International. She's been tirelessly working in the field of education for the last 21 years. Ma'am, a very hearty welcome to you to our Leader Speak series.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, I give all my gratitude to Sangram and schools for, giving me this opportunity. And I'm super excited to contribute whatever I can.
Thank you, ma'am. Seriously looking forward to it. This is an initiative from us to connect parents to schools and school leadership. So I would like to, Godwin Academy is doing wonders. So how is a typical day in the school, ma'am? How does the little ones go through the day?
See, if you want me to speak, I would speak about how we started. We started in the year 2007, April, when recession hit. I was working with Infosys as a coach. And because there was a recession, I was doing college to corporate as a team coach. So we didn't have any recruitments and I didn't know what to do. So I said, I cannot sit in the bench. So I will start Godwin Academy and I'll spend my time with toddlers because my son was only 7 years old then. So we started, and the typical day in our school would start with yoga. I love spirituality. I don't connect yoga to any faith. I always connect yoga to our body, mind, and soul, which is the most important thing for toddlers because they're motor skills. What do they do with their hand, heart, and head coordination? That's what matters. So the typical school at Godwin Academy is they don't have a time to come. There is a walk-in period for them. Because, you are already at 9 o'clock and suddenly the child wants to go to potty. So then what would you do? So we are practical moms. So we always have a window time for children. So their entry time is 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. And our logo is children learn while playing. So Godwin Academy says you can win, never give up. So when the children come at 10 o'clock is the yoga time. Say from 10 to 10:30, they have mudras. They will have simple mudras. We don't say the names and all. Like they don't have to know this is Jnana Mudra, Akshay Mudra, Prithvi Mudra, like that. So we just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is their Shankh Mudra. They will do it very well. You should see that how they do. 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, they come to Jnana Mudra, 10, and they go on meditation. So, meditation is a very important tool for toddlers because they don't know how to process their thoughts. They don't know what to do with it because if you see in the first 4 years, they are taking around 2,000 vocabulary words from their mother tongue. Nobody goes and teaches them mother tongue, isn't it?
True.
Swapna, it so happens they have to understand the vocabulary, they have to process it, and they have to use it as well. Because in the first 2 years, they're learning to speak. They're, having a deposit of words. They're looking at people who are talking in the school, in the market, at home, grandparents, acquaintances. There is so much for them to learn, adapt, and understand. So, like I said, from birth, environment is very important. So, I always talk about best birth, environment, society, and training. So first thing we do is 10 to 10:30, they will do yoga. 10:30, they will have a break. Again, in the break, we don't allow any, processed snacks and all. They will bring fruits, they will bring salads, they'll bring idlis and all that. And they will have a discussion, 10:30 to 11 o'clock. It's a food discussion. It's like a food festival every day. I love food. If anybody asks you, the reason for being born, born to live or born to this one, I will say I'm born to eat because eating is so important for me. Food is so important because I strongly believe what goes inside, you're outside. So tell me what you eat and I'll tell you who you are. So that's how it is for me. So I make it a point that, teachers all of them to bring raw salads. They do cooking without fire and all that. That way it will become of 11 o'clock. So then 11 to 12, they have three classes. It is 20 minutes each. We don't do anything much more than 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes is graphical visualization. That is, they will visualize numbers, words, puzzles, colors, and all that. For example, they will visualize yellow color pouring into their body, completely. They're all becoming Teletubbies of yellow color. And they're having a small, tiny elephant walking on their table. So they will do this. Again, it's motor skills, cognitive behavior, and all that. So we will give them so much of imagination with colors. Then what they do is they do visualization with the numbers. For example, 1 is kept in the chair, 2 is kept in the TV, 3 is kept in the mobile, 4 is kept in the frame behind, and 5 is kept in the book. So we will ask them, where is the 5? It's in the book. Where is the 2? In the TV. So what happens? There will be loads and loads of brain power, because within 1 to 6 years, the brain ka vikas ho jata hai. Sorry for the Hindi. By 6 years, most of our brain is developed. So they have to learn brain power within 6 years of age, and we have to connect them to their biological brain, which is really, really powerful. And then it is also made of 100 million neurons. So there is a link method. So when you link your brain with meditation, with graphical visualization, imagination, hand-heart-head coordination, the child's power of exploring the brain and encashing the time is great. So for their 6 years of life is very important. If you see, there are a lot of research happening in Harvard, Cambridge, Stanford, and all, that the formative 6 years of a child is very, very important. So that's why I love Maria Montessori. In my 10th book, Top 10 Heroes of My Life, I have made her also one of the best heroes of what I have, because she understood and realized the importance of targeting children from 0 to 7 years of age. So this is catch them young, catch them right. That's what I always say. Parents, you are the role model of the child for good and bad, whether you know it or you don't know. You're the role model, period. They're seeing today, right? So that is when we do another 20 minutes of visualization, another 20 minutes of writing, because I believe whatever you write, your brain takes it very seriously. I write journals, I tell people to write. Even though we have so much of technology and typing around, I accredit all that your goals, what your subconscious mind will attract, develop, keep, and process is writing. So we give them writing practice, and then we give them a lot of visual cards, I believe in visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So we on the music, we allow them to dance, we allow them to sing, because they come from different backgrounds, they get to listen to different multilinguistic songs. So it is very good for the brain to have multilinguistic languages, because when you know more than 2 to 3 languages, that means your brain is used super powerfully. Your brain is something whether you use it or lose it. So this is how a typical Montessori day in our school, Godwin Academy, happens.
Ma'am, parents would be really reassured, because all aspects of a child are covered, nutrition to their mind, body, and soul, as you rightly said. If the soul part is the yoga and the structure that they get through it, you also have covered the nutrition, and you talk about food, the importance of right food, along with the math, English, and the science and the language, and you've not even left out music and dance into it. So definitely reassuring to any parent. Ma'am, as much as this academic arena is covered, the other thing that a parent always worries is the physical safety and the privacy of the child. How is this addressed, ma'am?
Very importantly, we need to make the child understand good touch and bad touch. Okay. First thing I tell the parents is, in fact, I've written an article for Times of India and it got published. Do not allow children to sit on anybody's lap. The first instruction for the parents. Second thing, no labeling of names like sweetheart, people call babies and, some chuchu buji, tatu buji, nothing. Child should know who the person is and what is their connection with that person. Okay. And when you're talking about good touch and bad touch to children, you should say who is your inner circle and who is your outer circle. For example, my children very well know we live in a joint family, so they know their inner circle. Their grandparents are their inner circle, their parents are their inner circle. Again, their uncle and my husband's brother and co-sister are their inner circle, and the cousins. Even in this, what we say is there is something called good touch and bad touch. For example, giving a peck on the cheek is a good sign. Giving a peck on the lips is a bad sign. Patting your shoulder is good. Patting your breast is wrong. So
Correct.
the child doesn't know anything about, which part of the body. For them, everything is a part of the body. So who all can give you bath? So that is made like we make a module of who can give you bath and when, how the washing should happen and what has to be taken care of. So when you sit with the child and make that as an education, they know what is good touch and what is bad touch. And especially when you talk about outer circle, they are very, very clear. Okay, this is our, the human or the uncle who takes us to the school. This is the aunt who takes us to the market. This is what happens. So they know their limits and limitations. This is all we have to ensure we give this education and also ask them at the end of the day how the day was. The moment the children know that parents are not judgmental. For example, Hindu boy is sitting with a Muslim thing. So he's coming and telling, I have a friend Bashir. Bashir se kyo friendship karoge? No, not like that. So the moment you start becoming judgmental, child will start avoiding things to be told to you. Next time Bashir shares a chocolate, he won't come and tell you. So when you listen to a child, you have to listen without judgments. Your friend may be very close to you, but your daughter may not like that person. So you cannot judge that because that person is close to you, your daughter is not liking it and you have a concern with that. No, the child should have the freedom of expression of saying, I like this and I don't like this. When can that happen? If you talk to your children on daily basis. You have to talk to them on their routines, not, giving yarn all the time or it was like this in my time, see your time, we used to obey our parents, you're not obeying. No, it is not like that. So our children are born for a different generation altogether. So we cannot compare because every 25 years the generation differs. We cannot compare our life with them because, we don't even know what is bottled water, isn't it? But today, they don't know what is tap water exactly. So that's how it is. So it's a different time zone, different time period, different challenges they are facing other than that. Because we didn't have anything called COVID, right? So they are facing something, it's a new norm, new normalcy. So we have to go with the flow on you should take children in confidence that they can talk to you anything and everything. If you create this kind of environment, collaborative parenting is easy, parents' life is easy, children's life is also easy. It's okay to hear. Didn't we do any mistakes or say, we didn't have any failures? We did have to. Luckily, we all are there very protective with the children, but in our times, they had many children and they had mouths to feed. I don't think we got this kind of, royal treatment. So I would recommend or request parents, even though you have one or two children, make sure you are the head of the family or your parents are the head of the family. Children are not head of the family. You have to allow them to head their family. Your children are the founders of your family. So make that distinction clear. Okay, what your child says can be sometimes denied or ignored. Don't give them that authority of getting whatever they want, whenever they want. Create systems and also create situations for delayed gratifications. That will help them to grow, that will help them to curb their anxiety. That will allow them to be as a balanced adult.
So not only the physical safety and the privacy is ensured, and the parents are also made aware how they can contribute towards it. You're also striving in the to give children life skills, like how to be acceptable of others, how not to judge. Seems like you are contributing for a better tomorrow.
See,
Very
it's all about
heartening
the
to know that.
mindset, Swapna. It's all about the mindset. If you
Very true.
condition the mind of the child that they are safe and they can come and tell you anything in the world, that's it. Only thing is, after they tell, not immediately, you have to pick up points over the week and tell them what you liked and what went wrong and what could have been better. Like I always tell my daughter, if I was in your place, that's how I tell. If I was in your place, I would have chosen this. If, the other day she bought 2 apples and she sat, I said, give me 1 apple. So immediately she bit this and she bit the other apple also. I thought, oh my God, how can I be responsible for the selfish child? But you know what she did immediately? She gave the apple in her left and told mom, this is very sweet. You eat this.
We sometimes forget to see the other person's perception, and very nicely pointed out.
Luckily, I didn't tell her anything. Only I thought is, array, my child is having both or what? The child which is born to me, the women who propagate sharing is caring everywhere. What's happening? What did I do wrong? It was luckily I didn't tell her anything. It was going under the back of my mind. So this is years ago. Now she is 11 years old. I'm talking about 6-7 years back. So then I realized, oh, okay, the child wanted to give me something which was very sweet. So then, you know what? That's what the judgment goes. Sometimes they might have a different motive and we might have a different motive. Maybe we understood them wrong, or we didn't understand that. We didn't give them that kind of time to process themselves. So that we need to do. That we need to do, especially because we have the grandparents at home. Sometimes, the emotional challenges what we have with the other, members of the family. We try to, make children as a channel to approach or communicate or point out or gossip. It's a very dangerous tool. It's a
very true, ma'am. Very true, and looks like you've kept overall development, and you also, made children capable of learning so many things. So, do children get a chance to showcase all this learning and understanding? What are some of the major events and functions that happen at the school at Godwin Academy?
Oh my God! If you say Godwin Academy, in the last 8 years, we have done around 80+ programs. I've done congregations, conferences, seminars. At the drop of the hat, we will start a workshop. I strongly believe in Bloom's multiple intelligence. Like I always organize workshops. I serve as a resource person for people on the areas of logical thinking, language, their bodily skills, their articulation, which is very important because we need leaders for tomorrow, right? Their interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills, and naturalistic awareness. So if you put, of course, there are 19+ multiple intelligence, but these 8 are very, very important because we have to hone their spiritual, emotional, psychological, physical, and more importantly, the mental quotient today. Because, the subconscious mind is so very powerful that we were at the times when both the parents were there at home and one was a dedicated housewife, or our grandparents were at home and stuff. But today, both the parents are working and, the society needs us to be long hours after work. Because if we used to switch off computer, we are done. We used to come away home. But now today, we are taking the technology home. We are working from home and then working from office, working from the loo. I know friends who take their mobiles to the toilet. That's why I'm telling working from the loo, working from everywhere. What happens is we have become so materialistic. We have forgotten living and earning. Earning is a different story altogether. Living is a different story altogether. We don't know when the time will just pass off. We don't know. See, I got married in 99. My son was born in 2000. now it is 2021. We were having cuddles. We used to, hug. We used to watch cartoons. Make hot Maggies and have a competition who will eat first, and all that. And then
the small pleasures of life.
Small pleasures of life. And suddenly today he's in Dubai. He has done his filmmaking, visual communication. Attending big interviews. Big boy. He just, even if you find him now, he will just give you a hug in hallway and walk off, right? So soon, so much of time is lost. This 21 years, I've been building my business, building my education, building my network, building so many things. Sometimes I wonder, did I really spend so much time? Did I do justice in spending so much time with him? Because today he is gone over, right? So what I do is, it's kind of an introspection for me. My daughter is born in 2010, and I have one more son who's born in 2014. So what I do is very consciously spend loads of time with my children. So we have a bucket list because I missed the first bus, right? The first bus. I'm very clear with what I want to do with this train and flight. So these guys, I call him a bus. I call my daughter a train and him this one. It's like gold, diamond, and silver. I love silver a lot. So silver is there because the other day somebody told you should say platinum, gold, and platinum, gold, and diamond, because silver is not so very this one. The child might feel. I said the child don't even know the value of it because they all know that silver is what their mom likes. So it might be different. So the perceptions are different. That's what I was saying. So now what I do is I consciously spend a lot of time with my daughter. I see what she wears, what she likes, where we can go. And COVID is a blessing in disguise, of course. It gives a lot of free time to what you really want to do. But I've become conscious, the first parenting mistake, what I did, because I used to be very, very clear with, he has to score a lot of marks, studies was so important. And of course, all the children in the joint family studied in our school only, Godwin Academy, which is a non-conventional method of learning. They go to the conventional schools only from first standard. So the basics were right. But the challenge is how much of a time we spend in front of our computer, our work, our stuff. What we are missing is the work-life balance. We don't know how much is too much. So this one parent should be really, really clear. Maybe you should have 1 hour of time without any deviations or without any, put your phone for airplane mode for 1 hour. If you're going in flight, we don't use the phone, right? Like that, phone is for our convenience. It is not for the convenience of others. So I always tell, prioritize what you want to do. So 1 hour with your child. Have you ever gone swimming with your child? Have you had that one scoop of ice cream with them without any distraction, just enjoying the moment of this one? So what happens when the children fly away? That's when the cognitive dissonance starts for the parents. Did we do right? Did we spend good time with them? Yeah. What is he thinking about me? Was I very curious in my career and I missed the bus for the family? So there's so much running in our thoughts. See, if I go back and ask my son, he's going to say, no, Ma, you were a good mother. You were trying to put things for us. But deep in his heart, he might feel, okay, my mom was so busy. So that is why I was very clear in my life's design also. See, when I designed my life, I said I was coach with Infosys, like I told you. Saturday, Sunday, I used to spend with my time to, teach him abacus, take him for classes, take him for extracurricular activities and all that. Tuitions I used to handle myself. So all that time what was spent with the purpose. So I don't remember any big event of sweet nothings. So I tell the parents, please have a time which is called sweet nothings, because that is what your children are going to remember when they go abroad or they settle in different country. They need memories about you. What memories are we giving? Scolding them for a wrong mark, or scolding them for getting up late, or choosing fast food over healthy food? Are they going to remember us for that? So memories are
Very,
required.
very precious learnings for us and for every parent out there, ma'am. You know, thank you so much. You know, like very honestly and very generously, you have shared your life experience and with such honesty. Thank you. Because I'm sure this is a lot of learning for our parent community and parents who are looking for tips to, you know, how to ensure that the child is loved and taken care of. I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
There's
With
so
all
much
the
of
information, maybe, you know, it is my thought process, but I want to, you know, give it to parents to think and do something which they feel right, because they may have much more capable tips. All that I want is all of us collaboratively do something so that the generation next is the best. Because like they say, right, if you have to make an impact for 1 year, you have to plant rice. If you have to make an impact for 10 years, then you have to plant trees. If you have to make an impact for life, it is only education. So knowledge is power. Education excellence is the only way that we can take the generation next to next level. But in the process of doing, we are so concentrating about the destination. What about the journey? So we cannot just show them the end of the tunnel. You know, we should allow them to explore, experiment, and excel.
Very well put together, madam. And this probably also sums up what Godwin Academy also stands for: mind, body, soul. All of it is taken care, even inside the classroom. And your reflections, you know, are a testament to that. Ma'am, your feedback on our platform, schools, your experience with it, that would be.
First of all, I was so glad to find Kalpana ma'am, you know, giving her lecture in Leader Speaks. She's my mentor too. You know, Lions, I have attended her teachers training twice. And she has a vast experience. What I liked about schools is you people are bringing the uh, most experienced people into speaking about schools and about the situation, about the this one. It's not easy because the experts speak is very important. Education is there. See, we go to school, we go to college, we get education, but experience is individualistic. Each person will have their own experience. They will have their own pros and cons. They will have their own strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. What schools is doing is you are bringing everything in an integrated platform where if we have real-time challenges, we can be sorted. See, suppose a parent is having a real-time challenge of how am I going to take care of my child when she is going to talk to me about puberty, or how am I going to, you know, put the TV off when not so good scene is going to come. So there are so many questions in parents where they really, really want some real-time solutions for real-time problems. So I think schools is doing a great job by bringing this leaders speak, where leaders come and just, you know, talk about their thoughts, which are so raw, so naive, and so very workable. See, it should be employable, it should be adaptable, it should be doable. Because saying is not doing, doing only is doing, right? So we all have this kind of experience. I've been a parent for 21 years. I have 3 children. I've run a school. I know what it takes. You know, we are also the limited edition of people who saw technology, the world before technology and world after technology. So we know exactly what we really want, but we don't know how to put it unless we have a platform like a beautiful girl like you keeps questioning us, and we go introspect and tell what it is. So it's a real good platform. Schools is here to stay, and you guys are going to, you know, prosper. I wish you most and more. Your endeavors are really great. I want you to be one of the, you know, topmost pinnacle in the success of running preschools, thought process, collaborations, conferences, summits, congregations, whatnot. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for those warm words and your support. We really appreciate that. And we're definitely looking forward for a very positive association with you.
Thank you so much. God bless you. We love you. I
you.
always end my, you know, program by giving my dedication. This is my hi-fi dedication statement. Sorry, please forgive me. I love you. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am, for that.
Thank you.